Hello, this is Prof. Nanius. Um, this is a welcome video for Math 223, Calculus 3, Spring Semester 2025, good for both the 9 a.m. and the 2 p.m. section. So let's go to our Canvas page. Now under Canvas page, notice the syllabus is not listed here. It's under course resources and it's right in the second line. Okay, so let's go over a couple things here. First of all, this is me. I go by my last name. So it's Prof. Nanius, Professor Nanius, Dr. Nanius, Mr. Nanius. Any of those are fine. My email, there's abbreviated email, or you can use a more formal one. Either way it'll get to me. The thing I ask is that you put Math 223, MTH 223 in the subject line. So I'll know to look at your email. Office hours, and these are drop-in. Monday, it's 3 to 5. It's right after the later class. Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, 10 to 11. That's after the morning class, the 9 section. Now, on Wednesdays, I often have a dean's meeting from 3 to 5, so I can't be there. Thursday, I'm usually available, but occasionally we'll have seminars. Fridays, I found those office hours are not popular, but if you want to see me then, excuse me, that's right after the class. That's usually okay, but you should let me know. These scheduled ones are drop-in. Okay. The text is Essential Calculus or Early Transcendentals, second edition by Stewart. That's ebook. It's the same book you use for Calc 1 and Calc 2 if you took it at Bradley. We use a calculator, and I'm not going to really police that too much. The grading, there's 3 in-person, in-class exams. 15% are your grades for each one. I do allow 1 note sheet, both front and back, that you have to make if you want to use it. It's not completely open book, open note. You need to, if you want to use notes, make your note sheet out. And I'll talk about that a little bit more later. The quizzes are on Canvas. 15% total of the CARES grades. These, I do not time them. You can take as long as you want. Totally open source. They're designed to help you with the exams. But please, if you miss one, that's unless you have a bona fide excuse, it's over. WebAssign homework, 10%. Now, the way I do WebAssign, I usually close the assignment a week after it's open. Then about a week before the test, I open the old assignments relevant to that test so you can study with them. And then with about a week or 2 left in class, I'll open the WebAssigns completely so you can use those to study. Final exam, Thursday, May 8th, 9 to 11. That's 30% of your grade. That's and open, not open book, but you'll have a note sheet for that as well. And the rest of it is sort of self-explanatory, so I'll let you read it at your leisure. The schedule, now notice I said this is ideal. And this is how I'm planning to take it. We're going to go pretty quickly in the first 3 days. The first day, we're going to do very quickly a little bit of parametric equations, jump to chapter 10, and get going. This is a very, very fast-paced class. We might get behind a little bit, and we'll catch up at later times. These are roughly when the exams are. Now, these are not set in stone, but just note that this is before spring break, and this is after. If we're off by a week, that's not that big of a deal, but that gives you a rough idea. There's 3 exams, not 4. Okay. Now, as far as the other things that are available to you, the Zoom invitation is used for cases like where you're sick or you're on a field trip or you have a chance to make a class remotely. There will be no interaction though. That's the one thing. It'd be like a seminar, but you can still watch the stream. The actual class lessons are going to be recorded, and they'll be under this thing called Panopto Video. So if you click on that, I'll have the class sections the lessons organized by week. Now, there's nothing in here because we haven't had class yet, but you get the idea, right? Now, this open source Calc 3 text, you can use it or not. It's and it's completely free. You can download a PDF on your own computer, or you can view it online, or you can just totally ignore it. But it's another text that you can use, and it's a good one for like after you leave this course. But let's say you want to look something up from, you're taking an engineering class and you want to look up something in Calc 3. Well, that's a free book that you can use. So I kind of like that. This thing here, this Calc View, what this is this is a multivariable calculus. It's not our book, but a lot of the problems are similar, and there's worked out problems on video here. So that's another nice resource to see problems that are worked out that are similar to ours. These things here, these space curve plotters, I'll deal with those in class when we get to them. This class blog, it's going to be where the notes are put. And you can see what they look like right here. And you can see also I have topics. So if you're studying and you want to know, I want to know more about the directional derivative. What did he say about that in class? Well, you click on that and it'll take you to everything I had about the directional derivative. Now, as far as these little things here, that just comes to the blog. It's totally irrelevant. The stuff is the notes right here. Now, because I've taught this course a few times, these are all from previous times I taught the course. I will be updating these with fresh notes as we go along. As far as tips for studying calculus, I have a video that I made, if you like it in video form, that will give you some hints. And here's the written form of this. And it'll tell you a little bit about arranging the best time to study, how to study, and some tips of what to do, what to look for. All right. And let's see here. Then here, this is WebAssign material that I put separate right there. This is how to make vectors because sometimes we'll need that. That's how to do subscripts. The course key, or how to enroll, this thing here takes you to the enroll link right there, like so. And same thing for the other section. So there you have to use the section that you're signed up for. So sorry about that. So that's the that's a overview of the sources. Now, what I'd like to get at is the I think we'll talk a little bit more about how to study. Even though you're using notes, it's probably a good idea to try to do some studying with your notes closed. Now, here's a couple of things I want to talk about study. First of all, there's an optimal time to study. And the optimal time to study the material is when you're on the verge of forgetting it. If you study it too soon, it's just like a long lesson. You study it too long, where you've forgotten most of it, you're relearning a lot. And it's right when you're about to forget it. Now, I realize you have jobs and you have other classes and stuff, but as close as possible to your forget time is the time to look at that. The second thing is active study is the best. You might do a problem or two with your book or your notes, then try to do some problems without them. Because every time you recall something, you're changing your brain. Every time you recall something, you're really learning it. And it's also a good idea to give yourself frequent quizzes. Now, since I allow note sheets, making your note sheet is a good way to study. So like a few days before the test, make out that sheet, go over the big things and see if you can do the problems. And you remember, and the other thing I want to recommend doing is doing problems in scrambled order. Because if you do the 10 ones and the 10 twos and the 10 threes and the 10 fours, when you do the second problem of 10-2, you already know you're in 10-2, so you know how to start the third. So a better way to study for a test is to scramble the problems up. And then when you look at the problem, half the battle is knowing how to start it. And students sometimes make the mistake of studying problems in order. Rather scramble the order, then it's more like a test. Then you say, oh yeah, I know what I need to do. I need to take the gradient. Then I need to dot it with the unit vector in the direction of where I'm taking the directional derivative, things like that. Okay, so welcome to class. Looking forward to it. This is probably one of my favorite courses to teach. It's a little bit different than 122. 122 is better for people who are better at symbolic manipulation and algebraic manipulation. This course is better for people who turn to a diagram to understand something in visualization. So have fun. We're going to be taking what you learned in Calc 1 and some of what you learned in Calc 2 and applying it to higher dimensions. So look forward to seeing you, and that's what I have.